Chicago is one of the most well-known cities in the United States. It has its own, almost mythical aura.
The first sentence of the book is, Chicago is cool, because everyone likes Chicago. But when one tries to find out why everyone likes Chicago, what makes it special, that is extremely difficult to grasp.
Although its location seemed ideal, its construction faced enormous problems that required unprecedented solutions.
It connects the Great Lakes with the Mississippi Valley. It's a crossroads where canals could be built to connect everything, and it's very much at the center of the country, connecting east and west. But then it was discovered that the site they had chosen was full of difficulties. The buildings were sinking. When I saw images of people lifting an entire building to move it just a bit further, I couldn't believe it, but that is actually what they did. They didn't have enough drainage, the river didn't have enough flow to carry away the city's waste. And on top of that, it was polluting the lake, which was their source of drinking water, so a completely corrupted water cycle had developed there. And they had to do something unheard of, which was to make the river flow backwards. That is, instead of the Chicago River flowing downstream, clean lake water was sent upstream to carry everything away to the Mississippi.
Chicago represented the transition to a modern, orderly architecture. The use of stone as a construction base gave way to metal and glass.
They used the old grid layout, which they copied from the Romans as their basis. And what they did was, since the river had a life of its own, twisting and meandering, they straightened it to fit into the grid. They built movable bridges on every street. Every street has its own bridge, and they're also movable, so ships can pass. A surprising decision. Architects love to go to Chicago and see where modern architecture was born, because it was born there. It happened there because, one day, buildings needed to be made lighter, and instead of stone, they decided to use a metallic framework that weighed much less, hence it sank less. It's that simple, but of course it had to be invented. And they invented it and spread it worldwide. That's where the skyscraper emerged and where buildings went from having small, dark windows to huge, bright windows. In Chicago, one sees architects making pilgrimages, taking notes and taking pictures of each building, or strolling along the river to see them from the water. It's a city that showcases its architecture very well.
Everyday life in the city coexisted with the presence of mafia groups that influenced local politics and activities.
The role, so to speak, of Al Capone, all his lieutenants and his successors was crucial because they gave the mayor the chance to keep things going. If a revolt broke out, they were the ones who had to pay for it. And in exchange, they had the freedom to run their businesses in alcohol, prostitution. Drugs hadn't arrived yet. But that strange balance did emerge, and it's curious and difficult to understand. Certainly, the city undertook some long-term projects that it could never have accomplished without a wider, let's say, control. Whoever allocated the neighborhoods and all that was the boss, the Al Capone of the day.
Chicago is an example of the fusion of art and architecture, shaping its image and architectural structure.
Art there is used to create the city. Here, for instance, in Spain, you might have an existing square, and suddenly the mayor puts up a statue. But in Chicago, it's something different. They commission a well-known artist to create a sculpture, and then a space is formed around that sculpture, which, in a city laid out in a grid and very undifferentiated, serves as a focal point and creates a unique space similar to a plaza around the sculpture. All these famous names have helped the city establish these focal points, and routes are organized to visit the sculptures, giving art a presence and strength that it doesn't have elsewhere.
ACS has managed to leave its mark on some of Chicago's most iconic buildings, from the Willis Tower to the David Rubenstein Forum.
One of the most emblematic works is the former Sears Tower, as they used to be called, now known as the Willis Tower, where we designed a whole system of different ground-level entryways. And on another iconic building, the Art Institute, which holds an amazing Spanish art collection with some very interesting Goya paintings. And also a stepped building, the David Rubenstein Forum, which is also a highly recognizable building, with floors that fit together like this, stacked one on top of the other, making it an iconic tower as well.